Dirk Nowitzki.
They see Dirk up top, and Dirk over Eubanks, got it to go from the top of the key.
He was a 14-time All-Star. He won 1 NBA title, and he scored 31,560 points.
What if I told you that a shot perfected by a 7-foot German can break the will of even the best defenders? The kind of shot that defies logic, gravity, and every hand in his face? Dirk Nowitzki didn't just play basketball, he rewrote the script. His one-legged fadeaway became his weapon of choice, an irresistible move that would leave the NBA in awe. But how did a quiet kid from Würzburg, Germany, become one of the most unstoppable forces the game has ever seen? Let's get into the story behind the legend. Standing at 7 feet tall, Dirk Nowitzki is regarded as one of the greatest power forwards in NBA history and the best European player. Drafted in 1998, he spent his entire 21-year career with the Dallas Mavericks, leading them to 15 playoff appearances and their first NBA championship in 2011. MVP in 2011, Finals MVP.
And that's when he first noticed a tall, skinny, and blonde kid.
He became the leading foreign-born scorer in NBA history with 14 All-Star selections and 12 All-NBA honors. Internationally, Dirk led Germany to bronze at the 2002 FIBA World Championships and silver at Eurobasket 2005. In 2023, his legacy was cemented with his induction into the Basketball Hall of Fame. Dirk Nowitzki's professional career began humbly with German second-tier club DJK Würzburg, where he was first developed into an outside scoring forward by coach Pete Stahl. Although DJK had a disappointing 1994-95 season, finishing 6th in the league, Nowitzki's development as a shooter continued. However, he faced personal challenges off the court as he balanced his schoolwork with his fledgling basketball career. The following season, Dirk emerged as a consistent double-digit scorer, attracting the attention of the German national coach, who called him the biggest German basketball talent of the last 10-15 years. In 1997, Nowitzki's game reached new heights. He averaged 28.2 points per game, led DJK's promotion, and won the German Basketball Player of the Year award. It didn't take long for NBA scouts, especially after Nowitzki dominated the Nike Hoop Summit with 33 points and 14 rebounds, eclipsing future NBA stars. Even NBA legends couldn't help but admire his talents, and famously stated that he could call Dirk if he wanted to join the league. In 1998, Dirk was selected 9th overall in the NBA draft by the Milwaukee Bucks, but was immediately traded to the Dallas Mavericks, where he would spend his entire NBA career. Joining future stars, Nowitzki got off to a rocky start in Dallas. The team hadn't seen playoff action since 1990, and Dirk struggled in his rookie season as he adjusted to life in the NBA. He averaged 8.2 points and 3.4 rebounds per game, often outplayed by more athletic, aggressive NBA players. Hecklers called him Irk Nowitzki and dropped the D as a jab at his defense. However, Dirk remained steadfast.
Bradley finds Nowitzki, who comes up shooting, and he's got his first big league field goal.
Nowitzki's breakthrough came in the 1999-2000 season under head coach and the support of the team's new owner, billionaire Mark Cuban. Cuban rejuvenated the franchise by giving the Mavericks a winning environment. Dirk responded with averages of 17.5 points, 6.5 rebounds, and 2.5 assists per game. Now he was more than just a shooter. He was perfecting his signature move, the 1-foot fade shot. This unstoppable move in which Dirk leans back while raising his long frame on one leg quickly became known as one of the deadliest shots in basketball, impossible to defend due to its high release point. As Dirk developed his game, the Mavericks slowly built a winning culture. Although they missed the playoffs in 2000, the foundation was laid for what would soon become the team's Big Three era. Over the next few years, Nowitzki would emerge as the centerpiece of a franchise destined for greatness. The 2001 season marked the beginning of Dirk Nowitzki's transformation into one of the NBA's premier players. At just 22 years old, he has stepped up his game, averaging 21.8 points, 9.2 rebounds, and 2.1 assists per game. Nowitzki's role for the Dallas Mavericks was undeniable, as he became the first player in franchise history to be voted to the All-NBA team and secure a spot on the third team. Along with team captain Michael Finley and point guard Steve Nash, the trio became known as the Mavericks Big Three and led the team to their first playoff appearance since 1990 with a solid 53-29 record. However, the playoffs were very difficult. Facing the Utah Jazz-led Dirk's Mavericks pulled off a surprise upset and won the series in 5 games. But there was a clash with the San Antonio Spurs, where Dirk's trip was a setback. He battled flu symptoms and even lost a tooth in a collision with Terry Porter, so he pushed on. Despite a heroic 42-18 rebound effort in Game 5, the Mavericks fell to the eventual champions. Undeterred by the 2001 Würzburg season, Nowitzki continued his meteoric rise with 23.4 points, 9.9 rebounds, and 2.4 assists per game. He earned his first All-Star selection and was named to the All-NBA second team. The Mavericks finished the regular season with a 57-25 record, sweeping the Minnesota Timberwolves in the first round of the playoffs. However, the Sacramento Kings proved too much in the second round, executing a defensive strategy that was used to stifle Dirk, resulting in a 5-game losing streak. Although Nowitzki was disappointed, he received the consolation prize of being named Basketball Player of the Year in Europe by Gazzetta dello Sport. During the 2002-03 season, the Mavericks looked poised for a deep playoff run. Nowitzki led the team with 25.1 points, 9.9 rebounds, and 3.0 assists per game as they posted a franchise-best 60-22 record. His performance in Game 7 of the second round against the Kings, 30 points and 19 rebounds, led the Mavericks to their first Western Conference Finals. But when a collision with Manu Ginobili in Game 3 knocked him out of the series with an injury, and without their star, Dallas fell to the Spurs in 6 games. Entering the 2003-04 season, Dirk bulked up, adding 20 pounds of muscle to fill his new role as a center following the trade. However, this sacrifice in agility saw his numbers drop slightly to 21.8 points and 8.7 rebounds. Dallas was eliminated in the first round of the playoffs, another disappointment for the Mavericks' young star. With Dallas fully committed to building around him, Nowitzki truly stepped into his role as the face of the franchise in the 2004-05 season. After posting career highs of 26.1 points, 9.7 rebounds, 3.1 assists, and 1.5 blocks per game, Dirk was named to the All-NBA first team for the first time and finished 3rd in MVP voting. He also set a career high with 53 points in a game against the Houston Rockets. While the Mavericks saw another early playoff exit at the hands of Steve Nash's Phoenix Suns, Nowitzki's personal growth was impossible to ignore. In the 2005-06 season, Dirk, now the sole remaining member of the Mavericks' original Big Three, took his game to the next level and became the leading European scorer in a single season. He led Dallas to a 60-win season, and in the playoffs, the Mavericks faced the San Antonio Spurs in the Western Conference semifinals. In Game 7, with the series tied at 101, Nowitzki hit a crucial 3-point play to tie the game, resulting in a 119-111 victory. The Mavericks advanced to their first NBA Finals, but fell to the Miami Heat despite taking an early 2-0 lead in the series. During this span of his career, Nowitzki perfected one of the most iconic shots in basketball history, the one-legged fadeaway. Standing at 7 feet tall, Dirk's high-release shot was nearly impossible to block. With his back to the basket, he pivots on one leg, leans back, and unleashes a rainbow jumper that has defenders desperately swinging through the air. It became his signature move, a shot that transcended eras and left even the best defenders scratching their heads. This fadeaway was more than just a scoring tool, it was an art form, and when Dirk pulled it out, it was like watching a poem in action. The 2006-07 season saw Nowitzki reach the pinnacle of individual achievement as he won the NBA's MVP award. With career-best shooting percentages of 50.2% from the field, 40.6% from beyond the arc, and 90.1% from the free throw line, Dirk led the Mavericks to a franchise record 67 wins. However, the playoffs again brought heartbreak as Dallas, despite being the #1 seed, was upset by the Golden State Warriors in a shocking first-round exit. Dirk struggled under Steven Jackson's tight defense, averaging 5 points below his regular season mark and shooting just 38.3%. Reflecting on the series, Nowitzki admitted, "I didn't put a stamp on it like I wanted to." Although deeply affected by this loss, Dirk's fortitude remained intact. In the 2007-08 season, he recorded his first career triple-double and became the Mavericks' all-time leading scorer. During the 2009-10 season, Dirk Nowitzki became synonymous with the Dallas Mavericks. He scored his 20,000th career point, becoming the first player from Europe to reach the milestone, and led the Mavericks to a 50-win season. Despite another disappointing playoff showing to the San Antonio Spurs, Dirk's commitment to Dallas never wavered as he signed a 4-year, $80 million deal to remain with the team. With ups and downs, Nowitzki's journey has been one of growth, perseverance, and mastery. From the 2000 season to becoming MVP and a franchise icon, Dirk's legacy was cemented not only in Dallas, but in the basketball world as well. His unstoppable fade became a weapon, his resilience in the face of adversity was an inspiration, and his on-field leadership was something that would define an era. Although the championship eluded him during this time, Dirk's story was far from over. His destiny still had history waiting in the future. Dirk Nowitzki's legacy was already cemented before the 2010-2011 season, but what followed became the stuff of legend. The Mavericks traded for defensive anchor Tyson Chandler, setting the stage for a season Dallas fans still dream of. Despite suffering a mid-season injury that sidelined Dirk for 9 games, he put up solid numbers: 23 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists per game. The injury didn't stop him from winning his 10th All-Star game, but it was the playoffs where Dirk really made his mark, and after dispatching Portland in the first round, Dallas defeated the 2-time champion LA Lakers in a jaw-dropping conference semi-final series. The next hurdle? A young Oklahoma City Thunder led by the lethal duo of Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook. In Game 1, Dirk scored 48 points on a ballistic streak and set a new NBA record with 24 consecutive free throws in a game, proving he can beat you from anywhere on the floor. With the series tied 2-1, Dirk proved his clutch gene once again, rallying Dallas from a 99-84 fourth quarter deficit in Game 4, scoring 40 points and leading them to a 112-105 overtime victory. They won the Western Conference title in Game 5 and secured Dirk's second appearance in the finals. And then it was a rematch with the Miami Heat, featuring the newly formed Super Team. Earlier in the series, Dirk tore the tendon in his left middle finger, but there was no way that was going to stop him. In Game 2, with the Mavs down 15 in the fourth, Dirk orchestrated one of the greatest comebacks in finals history, sealing it with a left-handed layup to tie the series at 1-1. The Heat went ahead briefly by winning Game 3, but Dirk wasn't having it. Playing at 101 degree F in Game 4, reminiscent of Jordan's famous flu game, he once again hit the game-winning shot to tie the series. In the next 2 games, Dirk was unstoppable, hitting Miami in Game 6 and scoring a crucial 10 points in the fourth quarter. The Mavericks captured their first NBA championship, and Dirk was named Finals MVP, a moment of pure basketball poetry. Let's detour for a moment to celebrate Dirk's signature move, one that will forever be a part of basketball lore: his 1-foot fade. You see, it wasn't just a shootout, it was a weapon. It seemed simple, but it was unstoppable. Dirk's release point, combined with his 7-foot frame and soft touch, made him almost unblockable. Add in a leg kick that leaves more than defenders, and the kick becomes automatic. Dirk wasn't just shooting over defenders, he shot through them. The stats speak for themselves. Dirk rose to the Hall of Fame level by punishing opponents who thought they could tackle him. With the championship high still buzzing, the 2011-12 season began in chaos due to the NBA lockout, which shortened the season and shuffled the Mavericks roster. They lost key pieces like Tyson Chandler, but added other experienced veterans. Despite these changes, the Mavs never found their rhythm. Dirk, however, was still Dirk, leading Dallas in scoring with 45 goals, an 11th All-Star appearance, and 342 points in a shortened season. However, the Mavericks made the playoffs and were swept by the Oklahoma City Thunder. The 2012-13 season was difficult, especially since Dirk missed the first 27 games after undergoing knee surgery. The Mavericks struggled without their star, but Dirk returned just before Christmas. In a show of team unity, Dirk and his teammates refused to shave until they reached the 500 records and called themselves the Beard Brothers. Dirk became the 17th player in NBA history to surpass 25,000 career points, but the Mavericks failed to reach the playoffs, ending a 12-year streak. In 2013-14, Dirk returned to breaking records. He eventually moved into the top 10 on the NBA's all-time scoring list, passing legends. The Mavericks made the playoffs, but lost to the eventual champion San Antonio Spurs in a hard-fought 7-game series. In 2014-15, Dirk Nowitzki cemented his legacy by joining legends with 27,000 points for a franchise, surpassing Hakeem Olajuwon as the leading international scorer. The Mavericks made the playoffs but lost to Houston in 5 games. The following season, Dirk passed for 6th on the NBA's all-time scoring list and became the 6th player to reach 29,000 career points, showing no signs of slowing down with a 40-point game at age 37. In 2016-17, Dirk reached the 30,000-point milestone, becoming the first international player to achieve the feat, further cementing his place in NBA history. The 2018-19 season was Dirk's swan song. After 21 seasons with the Mavericks, the record for most seasons with one team, Nowitzki finally said goodbye. On March 18, 2019, he became 6th on the all-time scoring list with 31,419 points. His final home game was a 30-point masterpiece that ended with an emotional retirement ceremony attended by basketball icons. Dirk played his last game against the Spurs, where he had 20 points and 10 rebounds, capping his career high. Dirk Nowitzki's basketball legacy remains as strong as his iconic fadeaway. Dirk changed the game forever by revolutionizing the power forward position and leading the Mavericks to their first championship. Even after he leaves the court, his influence continues to resonate, whether through mentoring younger players or his involvement in shaping the future of the Mavericks franchise. With his name etched into the annals of NBA history, one thing is certain: Dirk's impact on basketball will live on for generations to come, a legend in every sense.